Hey everybody, how we doing today? Beautiful day here in the Florida Keys. And it's finally winter. We finally hit a 50-degree weather. Well, it's 59, 58, but still getting down into the 50s for the first time. It's only for today, and then it goes back up to the 70s tomorrow. But in almost a week, we got 2 days of 50-degree weather, so got a few storms pushing down. So that means things are going to change it up for me specifically in regards to my target species and the different ways I'm going to fish. So that's kind of what today's video is about, that little winter time adjustment. I haven't had any cold weather this winter. It's been 70s all throughout the time. We had those 2 days where it dropped in the 60s, and that's been it. But yeah, let me show you what we're gonna do for the rest of this freezing temps. Right now I'm doing iceberg watch here, making sure no icebergs wash aground over here at the Marathon Park, and just checking out the pillars. It's getting cold out here, finally. I mean, it's January 20th, 21st, and it's our first cold front for this winter time. We've gone through a couple of mid 60-degree weathers for like 2 days prior to this, and the rest of the time it's been 70s and 80s. All right, but this is the first day that it's going to drop down into the 50s, and that's significant not only for having to put something on to stay warm, but also in regards to the fishing down here in the Keys. Now, if you watch my kind of more how-to instructional videos about fishing down the Keys, I emphasize this a lot because it's a major factor, and that's migrations. All right, our sports fish are not here all year round. So all those cool trophy fish that you see on TVs and the videos and stuff, it's not all year round. All right, majority of them come in cycles. Okay, they migrate through and then they pass on and go back or go somewhere else. So, for example, I use this a lot is the big tarpon. All right, so they're here in numbers for their spawning season, March, April, May. That's the peak. So you come during March, April, May, there's a really high chance that you're gonna hook up to a tarpon there. Okay. However, if you come without thinking about it, just because you figure, it's the Keys, they always have the big tarpon, you come December, January, February, okay, you're looking at very slim chances you're going to get one of those big tarpon because they're just not here in any big numbers, and it'll be very small chance that you're going to get one. All right, and you can apply that across the board to a majority of our sport fish. Then you can actually narrow it down to daily, okay, based on the weather or specifically the temperatures. Okay, a lot of our species, especially our year-round species, are highly affected by that water temp. Our warm water species don't like the cold. Okay, so what happens is when we get these real cold dips, it chills those water temps, and especially on the flats in the shallower water, the species that hang out there tend to take off. Now, they're not like going to the mainland, they're not going to the Bahamas or South America, they're just heading out to the deeper water, 20, 30 feet, where it takes a lot longer for that water temp change to reach them. And they'll just hang out there and just wait a couple of days because our cold front is over today, basically, in 6 hours, and then it's going to go back up to the 70s again, and those water temps will start rising back up, and then they're like, all right, we're back, and that's the way it is. But if you come during one of these cold fronts and you're looking for bonefish, okay, you're going to be highly disappointed because the majority of those guys are gone out to deeper water and it's almost impossible to find them. So a hugely important factor to think about if you're coming down here, and especially if you're coming down here looking for a certain fish. Now, to kind of make things a bit easier for you, I've come up with a Florida Keys fishing seasons kind of calendar, okay, a monthly calendar to show what species are kind of here, what's hot during these certain months, okay, and kind of help you to kind of factor in. So if you're coming for a bucket list fish like a tarpon, then you'll be able to look and say, oh, March, April, May, those are the months to be here, okay, and then your best chances. Or on the flip side, you only get vacations in September and October, All right, that's just the way it's going to be, but at least you could take a look and say, well, what species are going to be hot during that time frame I'm there, and you can plan accordingly. Maybe not going to be the tarpon, but you want to catch a kingfish or a sailfish on the reef, or tunas, okay, or a permit, okay, then you'll see, oh, those are still available. Heck, that's what I'll do, and you're going to be a lot more successful and have a better trip. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you through and let you check it out, but otherwise you can go to the AllAboutTheBait.com website, and one of the top tabs is Florida Keys fishing seasons, and you can check it out there. I added some historical by month tabs, cloud cover, rain, winds, so you can kind of see the breakdowns of each month. What's the high rain period? What's a low rain period? The most important one is what months are windy, what months are not so windy. Okay, so let's take a look at that. All right, so head on over to allaboutthebait.com. Check out all my categories here. Take a look for Florida Keys fishing seasons. Bring up this page here. I have it starting out with some historical charts. Basically, these graphs are probably like, I think, 10 to 15 years of information averaged out by month, so January through December, and then the percent by month of a 30-day period here. So, for example, the yellow here are sunny days, and you can kind of see we have more sun during the winter times than we do during the summer times. And then the tan means those kind of intermittent, and then the browns here are the blown out days where it's just either just full clouds or it's stormy weather there. Okay, you got precipitation amounts, the amount of rain, heavy rains, dark blue, lighter rains, the lighter blue, the tan being those full-on beautiful sunny days. One thing to keep in mind, if you look at that, specifically the summer time frames, we have actually those less sunny bluebird skies during the summertime, where a lot of people, I think that our summers are always 100% sunny and just hot and just lay out on the beach days. No, we get a lot of stormy weather during the summer times, more so than during the winter times. And you can see by the rain amounts, we get a lot more rain during the summer than we do during the winter times here. And that's why I'm always going, is that these summer storms are horrible. I mean, they are very powerful, very quick. They dump a lot of rain, a lot of thunder, lightning in a very short term, and you just have to be very careful of those. Probably the most important chart here is the wind speeds. So you've got these lightest green. Those are those 5 knots and under. Those are those picture perfect days, flat calm mirror waters out there. You got this little bit lighter greens, that's still 10 knots and under, still pretty much anything's a go because the winds are down, the waves are down. Then you get this darker green here, that's the 15 to 20 knots. That's when things are a bit rougher here. You're probably not going to be going offshore. Maybe you can get out at least a couple miles out, hit the patch reefs, or probably best bet would be go out to the Gulf side, hide out in the backcountry behind an island in a channel, and just trying to make do with what you can. And then this dark green are kind of just stay home and watch YouTube videos, basically. So those are very important to kind of chart out your plans if you're coming down in a certain month, or if you can pick your time frame, try to pick what matches what fishing that you're looking to do. Then we get down here to the bread and butter fishing stuff. I've got it laid out by month. And then the categories each month are flats fishing, backcountry, wrecks and reef, and the blue water. Okay, and the specific recommendations for that type of fishing for that different month. So you can kind of see what January, if you're going to be flats fishing, these are the fish that are kind of going to be around and the best opportunity. Always remember there are no fences and there's no, we're in the Caribbean, our average temperatures are in the 70s, so it's not a huge impact in regards to the fish that are here don't always leave. We still have a decent percent, even though they're migratory, will stay around and hang around. So just take that into consideration. So I have also, after all those categories, I put my Steve's Choice, and those are kind of the things that I personally am focusing on for those months there, or at least if I could just focus on one thing, that these categories would be what I'd be looking for. I'm kind of like to mix things up, so I'm bouncing around all over the place, but these would be my favored ones where my best opportunities lie, and I've got it down there by each month, so it makes it a little bit easier. So like I said, if you're planning on coming down here for a specific bucket list fish, you can kind of find out which months are going to be best for that. Or if you're just coming down on a specific month, say for example May, and then you'll know what's around and what's your best opportunity to bend a rod if you're not so particular. So take a look at that. A lot of good information there. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is actually really going to affect my future fishing here going forward. I've been kind of in that holding pattern, just like our temperature and our weather has been. I start watching it around the end of November. Are the cold fronts going to start hitting? December is our average time when we start seeing those cold fronts pushing down from the mainland, and we start seeing those 60-degree temp drops more often, and then every once in a while we'll get a 50. But this December there was none. I think we had 2 days where it dropped into the high 60s, and that was it. And then middle of January, still waiting, 70, 72 to 75 degrees. That was it. And then we finally, today, we've got that 55-degree drop. Now, it's 1 day, but then before the next week here, we're going to have 2 days where it's going to be in the 50s. So another front comes through, and that's definitely going to chill those waters. Okay, it's not going to have a chance to go all the way back up in the 70s. It's going to go back down again, and that's definitely going to chill the waters down here. But more importantly, what it does, if it's 50s here in the Keys, it's basically snowing up in the Panhandle, up on the mainland line there, because there's a major temperature swing there. And when those happen, those water temps reflect that. And I probably am assuming that there's a lot of those fish were basically doing the same thing I was doing, just like, well, it's still 70 degrees, so might as well just kind of go in that holding pattern, okay? But then when that freezing temp hits, it gets 30 and 40 degrees up there, that water gets shocked, and then they're like, oh, okay, it's time to head south. And then things start shuffling down and pushing down. Even in the Everglades, that'll start clearing those fish out and pushing them down towards the Keys, where it's still just up to the Everglades. It's going to be 15, 20 degree temperature differences. And then we're going to start seeing these big pushes. And then me personally, I have to shift my fishing from our warm water fish that aren't going to like it. They're going to be in the deeper water. And then the influx of the new fish species that we don't see very often kind of funneling in. And I want to take advantage of that while they're still here before that water temps get back up and then they take off again. It's also going to be a bit of a change for the All About the Bait store. I've got my fourth quarter merchandise moving in, so I'm going to be releasing 2 major lines here coming up really quickly, and that should be pretty exciting, and that'll affect my my 2022 with those as well, so be pretty interesting for that. But otherwise, yeah, it's finally winter. I got my beanie on. Get these on the side as well. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I will see you next vid. Bye.